Good morning, students. Dual nature of radiation and matter. In it, we are discussing today integrated video number 7. In it, we are discussing about particle nature of light. What is the particle nature of light? It must be have, according to Einstein's theory. What they told? They told one small point for us, that is, each and every light particle will behave like a energy packets. What the light will incident upon the metal surface, that light must be contains a small particles just like as the same photons. Okay, each and every particle contains some energy. That energy is nothing but E equal to h nu. That only given by the Einstein's theory for us. Okay, in it, the particle nature of light, that is a photon. The photoelectric effect gave the fact that the light interaction with matter behaved as if it was made of quanta or packet of energy. It is made as a quanta or packet of energy. That energy is nothing but h nu. So these properties of photons, if you want to be see, here we gave some points. It is one of the important question. Okay, and that points also be in case of theory they are asking. See that in first point, in interaction of radiation with matter, the radiation behaves as it made of particle. The particles also be called as photons. Okay, the interaction of radiation with matter. This matter of radiation will behaves as made up of a small particles. That particles are called photons. So each photon have a energy. How much it is? E equal to h nu. And momentum P equal to h nu by c. Okay. Previous already we discussed these all. And it must be moved with light velocity. That means with c. Clear? So it is with move with light velocity, speed of light. That's why we give the point. And speed c, the speed of light. This is one of the property for that. Suppose an increasing in number of photons per second crossing a given area, that means the photocurrent will increase when it will be intensity. Okay, with each photon having same energy, each and every photon have same energy in the same light. Okay, that is photon energy is independent of intensity of radiation. That energy will independent of intensity of radiation. Remember this point. Photon energy is independent of intensity of radiation. Photon energy is independent of intensity of radiation. Most important point. Next one is photons are chargeless. Only they have energy, it possesses energy. That means photons are electrically neutral. Protons are electrically neutral. So when they are electrically neutral, then it cannot be deflected by both electric and magnetic fields. Photons are not deflected both electric and magnetic fields. That is only here they will give. Protons are electrically neutral and are not deflected by both electric and magnetic effects or fields. Okay. Next, one more important point is photon particle collision. Photon particle collision means the collision between proton and electron. Okay, so proton electron collision, in it the total energy and momentum are conserved. Total energy and linear momentum simply or total momentum will conserved. However, the number of photons may not be conserved in a collision. The number of photons may not be conserved in a collision. Remember this point. That is, the photons may be absorbed or a new photons may be created. Clear na? It should not be. However, the number of photons may not be conserved in a collision. The point must be important. That's why photons may be absorbed or a new photons may be created. These are all important points about the particle nature of light and the photon. Okay. In that photoelectric effect, what we discussed, the light which is falls upon the metal surface, that light will be behaves as a small tiny particles. That particles have a little bit packet of energies that are called as quantum. So that quantum energy is equal to h nu. Clear na? And interaction of the radiation with matter, that must be behaves as particles that are called photons. That energy equal to what you can write h nu, and momentum p equal to hc by lambda, and it must be moved with the speed of light. So with light velocity it can. And increase in number of photons per second crossing in a given area with each photon having same energy. That is, the photon energy is independent of intensity radiation. Independent of intensity of radiation. Okay. Photons are electrically neutral, so they are not deflected and not deflected in both electric and magnetic fields because of chargeless. Clear na? These points we need to be remembered. Okay, next. Up to now we are learned about particle nature of radiation, that is as in photon form. Okay. Now, wave nature of matter. In that wave nature of matter, in that photoelectric effect and Compton effect, both are proves the radiation behaves as a particle nature. As a particle nature. Okay. Which Compton effect and photoelectric effect. But if you observe the interference pattern in light and diffraction, okay, this interference and diffraction of light will prove that light have wave nature. That must be have the radiation of light have wave nature. Okay. So the total radiation which is available in our nature, that have dual in nature. The radiation has dual in nature. Clear? So dual properties, both particle as well as waves. Okay? Particle as well as waves, dual nature. That's why this topic also we will call dual nature of matter and radiation. Okay? So see here. That is, radiation behaves like particles when it will interact with matter. When it will interact with matter. When it is interact with matter, then the light will behave or radiation will behave like a particles. Suppose if it will move in a medium, then it will behaves as a waveform. Okay, so the radiation behaves like waves when propagating in a medium. So radiation contains a dual nature. Now de Broglie hypothesis. What the de Broglie concludes for us, that is, the universe consists of matter and radiation only. What we have, the entire universe surrounded by us, that will be consist of matter and radiations only. Okay. Nature loves symmetry. Second one he said, nature loves symmetry. Nature loves symmetry. The radiation has dual nature. If the radiation have dual nature, then matter is also we have dual nature. That only concludes to us. I understand? The radiation have dual nature. Previous what we discussed that one. Radiation has a dual nature. So then matter is also we have dual nature. Okay. That matter contains, already we know that, very minute or indivisible particles. First we will be measured as the divisible particles, electron, proton and neutron. Say yes or no? Now, according to the de Broglie particles, Okay, according to de Broglie, the particles like proton, electron, neutron, like that. Matter contains with minute particles like electron, proton, neutrons, like that, and also have both wave and particle properties. These all minute particles have both nature. That is called dual nature, wave and particle properties. Okay. So suppose here one important definition also we want to learn here. What is that? What are matter waves? What are matter waves? The waves associated with moving material particle. The waves associated with moving material particle that are called matter waves. Most important point. And the wavelength of that matter we have, that is called de Broglie wavelength. For this matter, what the wave associated for the matter, okay, that material particle have a wavelength, that wavelength called de Broglie wavelength. It represents with lambda. Already we know. What we know for a energy of photon? Already we know that E equal to h nu, or nu you can written as hc by lambda. Because of nu equal to c by lambda, already we so many times we discussed it. Now this energy in terms of matter, okay, in nature if we have very small matter, that matter is also we can treat it as a little bit energy it possesses. Yes or no? That's why that energy E equal to what you can write mc square. Now if you be placed instead of this E, this mc square, then what you can write? First general formula I am writing here, E equal to hc by lambda. Now E equal to nothing but mc square. Now 1c get cancelled. Then what do you have? Lambda equal to h by mc. Okay, lambda equal to h by mc. M into c, mass into velocity. It is nothing but momentum. Says or no? Then lambda equal to h by mc. It is nothing but lambda equal to h by p. This is called de Broglie wavelength. That is called de Broglie wavelength. Clear? Very simple. De Broglie, what he said, that material particle have both nature, that are particle and wave nature. So the waves associated with moving material particles are called as matter waves. The waves associated with the moving material particles are called matter waves. Important definition it is. And the wavelength for that material particles, what the wavelength? That wavelength is called de Broglie wavelength. Now to derive the de Broglie wavelength, we have a small equation that is equal to h nu. This is general equation, already so many times we discussed. Now instead of nu, what we can write as c by lambda. So E equal to hc by lambda. So already we know that according to the matter of nature, each and every matter will consist some energy. From that equation that Einstein get Nobel Prize, already we know for that equation of E equal to mc square. Says or no? Now instead of this energy, I will place here mc square. Now 1c get cancelled. Then mc equal to h by lambda. From that lambda equal to h by mc. Okay, mass into velocity. So it is called as momentum. So lambda equals to h by p. Lambda equal to h by p. This is a de Broglie wavelength. Clear? See here, suppose to explain the de Broglie wave equation, here if the particle of mass m is moving with velocity v, then the momentum, what you can write? The linear momentum p equal to, you can write as mv. Okay, from that lambda equal to h by p. So instead of this p, what we can write? We will write as mv. Very simple formula. So lambda equal to h by mv. This is a one wavelength equation. Okay, clear? Now Suppose if you have what are you know what is the relation between momentum and kinetic energy? Already we know that kinetic energy K equal to P square by 2m. From that P equal to under root 2m Ke. So instead of momentum P, you can write one more equation, that is under root 2m Ke. Clear? So lambda equal to h by under root 2m kinetic energy. Now, if you apply a potential to that, then electron can have accelerated. For a particle of charge q, then the kinetic energy you can written as K equal to VQ or Q into V. V is applied potential. Already we learned in the second lesson. So if the particle having a charge q starting from rest, it is at rest. Now it is accelerated through a potential difference of V volt. Potential difference of V volt. Then the gain in the kinetic energy K equal to what you can write QV. So instead of this kinetic energy in this formula, what we are applying? We applied as the same here QV, potential, charge into potential. Okay, with the help of this formula, de Broglie gives the wavelength of electron, proton, neutron, deuteron, like that. So many particles he gave that. That also we will learn. Now, I understand this one clearly. Very very simple. Lambda equal to h by p. P is nothing but mv, or the momentum will be in terms of kinetic energy. You can written as under root 2m Ke, and this kinetic energy for a charged particle when it is applied a potential difference, then it have accelerated. Okay, then kinetic energy K equal to what you can write? It is nothing but work done. W is nothing but VQ, or you know. So K equal to here Q into V or VQ. Then after instead of this Ke, if you write this VQ, then what is the formula for that? Lambda equal to h by under root 2m QV. Clear? This is the de Broglie wavelength equations. With the help of this equation only, for material particles, that means electrons, protons, neutrons, all. For that, he measured the wavelengths. Here, already we know that de Broglie equation, what we derived previous, that lambda equal to h by under root 2m QV. Okay. Now, already we know that if you take to measure one electron wavelength, how can you measure? Already we know that mass of electron, how much it is? 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. Already we know that. Electron charge, here instead of Q, what you can write? Electron charge 1.6 into 10 power 19. Similarly, Planck's constant H equal to what you can write? 6.63 into 10 power minus 34. If you substitute these all values, then for that electron, the wavelength for electron, de Broglie wavelength. So here I am writing. For electron, de Broglie wavelength, that is lambda equal to, if you substitute that all values, you can get 12.27 by a root potential V angstroms, or you can get that 12.27 or by root V angstrom, or if you want to be taken root, total in terms of root you can write as a lambda equal to under root 150 by potential V. Okay, you can write like that. Angstrom also. Clear na? If you can write this simply with separation root 50 by root V. How you write? Both are same. Okay. For electron, the de Broglie will decide a shortcut for us, that is 12.27 by under root potential angstroms, or root 150 by root V angstroms. What you can take? This is de Broglie wavelength for de Broglie wavelength for electron. Suppose if you take a proton, already we know that mass of proton, how much it is? 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg, and charge of proton is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, and Planck constant value will be same. Then for proton de Broglie wavelength, how much it is? It is nothing but lambda equal to, how much you can write? 0.286 by root V angstroms. How much you can write? 0.286 by root V angstroms. Okay, clear? This is a proton's wavelength. If you substitute that all values, finally you can get that formula like this. Or one more, you can write as lambda equal to under root 0.082 by potential. These are all under root. Okay, angstroms. How can you write? You can write like that. Suppose if you can take one deuteron particle. For a deuteron, note down these all important formulas. So for a deuteron, okay, for a deuteron, if you want to take that lambda equal to, what you can write, 0.202 by root E angstrom unit. Okay, root E angstroms unit. Suppose if you take one alpha particle, for alpha particle, the wavelength will be lambda equal to, for alpha what you can write, 0.101 by root potential into angstroms. Okay, one by one. For neutron, in terms of energy, for neutron, lambda, wavelength lambda equal to, what you can write, 0.286 by root E angstroms. Okay, here V is accelerating potential and E is energy, kinetic energy. Okay, E is the kinetic energy of electrons in, kinetic energy in electron volts. Here I am writing that, where E is kinetic energy in electron volt, EV. Energy must be represented with that. Why we are using these all shortcut formulas? Okay, what are the shortcuts? De Broglie wavelength, already we know that is lambda equal to h by under root 2m qv. In it, mass of electron, you can substitute that. How much it is? 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg. Charge of electron 1.6 into 10 power minus 16. Planck constant 6.63 into 10 power minus 34. If you substitute these all values, what you can get? You can get the de Broglie wavelength of electron. How much it is? 12.27 by root V angstrom, or 0.1 under root 150 by V angstroms. For proton, if you want to take the proton, mass of proton only change, remaining all same. H value 6.63 into 10 power minus 34. Only mass of proton will be changed, that is 1.675 into 10 power minus 27 kg. Correct? So lambda equal to 0.286 by, if you substitute that all values, then you can get this one. 0.286 by root V angstrom. Remember, these are shortcuts. Okay, or under root 0.082 by V angstroms. For deuteron particle, that wavelength, de Broglie wavelength lambda equal to, what you can write, 0.202 by root E. E is nothing but kinetic energy in electron volts. Okay, angstroms. And similarly, alpha particle, if you take, we will write 0.101 by root V angstrom. Similarly, for neutron, 0.286 by root E angstroms. Okay, clear na? These are all shortcuts for material particles wavelengths, moving material particles wavelengths. See here, when a material particle like neutron are in thermal equilibrium. Okay, neutrons are in thermal equilibrium. Are you know what is thermal equilibrium? At the same temperature. Okay. Now, from kinetic theory of gases in first year, already we know this relation. Energy E equal to 3 by 2 kT. Already we know that. Here K is called Boltzmann's constant. Its value is 1.38 into 10 power minus 23 joule per Kelvin. Clear? Joule per Kelvin. Are you clear that? 1.38 into 10 power minus 23 joule per Kelvin. That is the Boltzmann's constant. Now instead of this energy, what we can write? Half mv square. By using these all data, we can measure that lambda equal to h by under root 3m kT. Okay, 3m kT. Already in neutron mass we know that if you substitute that value and h value already we know that, then in terms of absolute temperature here, up to now previous what we wrote, accelerating potentials, we will write the shortcuts. Now in this concept what we wrote for absolute temperature. So lambda equal to 30.8 by root T angstrom. Here T is called absolute temperature for neutron. Here thermal neutrons. Already we know, we learned about the thermal neutrons previous. Okay. From that concept only it is. Very simple. Now, here one more application we are discussing. A particle of mass m is projected horizontally. How it will projected? Projected horizontally with a velocity u. Okay, and it made an angle theta with the horizontal. Okay, then after some instant of time, at that instant, the de Broglie wavelength lambda equal to general formula, what you can write? H by mv. Says or no? For this projection, now it is theta. For that, what you can write from you by using these two? Vertical component of velocity that is equal to horizontal velocity of component, that is u. Then what you can write? V cos theta that equals to u. From that V equal to what you can write? U by cos theta, because here already we have V. So we will measure V. Now substitute here V instead of that u by cos theta, then this cos theta will move up, then lambda equal to h cos theta by mu. It is one of the important derivation. Okay, it is one of the applications. If a particle of mass m is projected horizontally with velocity u and it makes an angle theta with the horizontal, after some time, at that instant of that time, the de Broglie wavelength, at that instant of that time, the de Broglie wavelength, that lambda equal to what you can derive? H cos theta by mu. Clear? Remember this one. Up to now what we are discussing, upon that we will do a little problems. See here, a 200 watt sodium street lamp emits a yellow light of wavelength. How much they gave? Wavelength lambda equal to 0.6 micro. Micro means 10 power minus 6 meter. Okay. Clear na? And assuming it to be 25% of efficient in converting electrical energy into light, then the number of photons of yellow light it emits per second is. So for that, first we want to be know energy of photon E equal to what you can write? Energy of photon. What you can write? E equal to h nu or hc by lambda, because of wavelength they gave na. So I will write h nu or E equal to what can I write? hc by lambda. From that energy E equals to measure what is the h value? 6.63 into 10 power minus 34. What about the C value? 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second by, what about the lambda value? How much they gave? That lambda will be given as 0.6 into 10 power minus 6 meter. If you be solve these all, how much you get? You can get that. So you can get that 33 into 10 power minus 20 joule energy it will get. Now, number of photons emitted per second, that is n equal to how much of efficiency they gave? Only 25%. So how can you write? Within the total power we have efficiency as 25%. So 25 by 100 into power P by energy. Okay, then n equal to 25 by 100 into power 200 by energy. How much you get? 33 into 10 power minus 20. If you solve these all, finally you can get number of photons, that is how much you can get? 1.5 into 10 power 20. That number of photons you can get that. Okay, remaining we will discuss in the next video.